atmosphere this year has been awesome. You know, all my family goes to games as you guys do, and our players. And I mean, even sitting in the box, it is just electric, and it's something that you know, we can be very proud of as a community, as a university. And so that had a huge part in the game as well. And you know, I was just really proud of our team. But obviously, speaking defensively, just proud of our guys to put a full game together. You know, we put halves together, we put quarters together, but having our guys be able to go out there and do what they did for a full game, just really proud of the guys. You know, the work they put in, the staff, putting them in, going through practice, all the walkthroughs and getting stuff fixed from the bye week to grow into it, and especially playing with a young group. You know, seeing the guys we got, the majority of them are all coming back next year, but at this point they're not young anymore, and seeing them continue to grow to be able to make some of those plays. Obviously, still not perfect. Even some things maybe we didn't get hit on the game was not perfect defensively by any means, that we still got to grow in. And we talk all the time, just because there was a guy open that maybe didn't get the ball on Saturday afternoon doesn't mean that that's still not an issue we got to fix. So still a lot to clean up, but just proud of our guys playing a complete game, and obviously still a lot to grow in, but proud of where we're heading.
Did you do anything differently in terms of, you guys got a lot more pressure on the quarterback, it seemed like we're in the backfield a lot more. I mean, was that something you did, changing up the calls, or were guys just winning their matchups, or what?
I think a lot of it was just our guys winning their matchup, BJ. I mean, guys being able to consistently win a one-on-one, and even if it didn't completely turn into a sack, just being able to get pressure to the quarterback helps the coverage, helps the back end. Obviously, trying to continue to find ways to switch up the picture for a quarterback is a huge part of my job, to not only move the stress from the coverage, but also making sure the guys that are rushing can consistently win. And that's the big thing we've looked at over the bye week, and just looking at our defense as a whole, is from a freshman to a sophomore to whoever it is, who can consistently do a good job getting to the quarterback. And we got to find ways to do that, and obviously find ways to have switch ups off that as well. So I hats off to our guys, and like I said, the guys that got opportunities to rush did a good job, and our coverage did a better job holding up with some of the disguises and some of the things to where it gave the front end time to get home. There were some good clips that we were able to show our defense yesterday where there was nowhere to go with the ball. So where did that give time? It gave time for Ahmed to get home with a sack. So that's how it works together defensively. And obviously, first and foremost, we did a good job stopping the run, because that's, against a team like Wyoming, playing them last year, they had, like we talked about prior, they had 3 runs for 160 yards. So they were explosive in the run game. They wore us down in the run game, and for us to do a better job on Saturday stopping the run, obviously was able to open it up for us in regards to the pass game.
Andrew Simpson, how fast was he playing on Saturday, and what's it like to have a guy now that's really starting to make some game-changing type plays for you?
Yeah, no, really proud of Drew, man. You talk about a kid that we asked to do a lot, and I tell him that, like, going into last week, if you look at the positions he's played going into, now week 9, he's played all over the field in regards to the box, what we asked him to do, put a lot of stress on him. He's a very smart, savvy football player. And coming into this year, like we talked about, started a couple games last year when Zeke Noah got hurt, but really, asked to step up in a major way, got banged up a little bit in the ear, and being able to really come into his own. And I give a lot of hats off to DJ, in regards to kind of showing that group of linebackers, Marco, Andrew, Jake Rip, Chase, just name a few of what it takes to prep to play this game. And I use that as an example for Andrew. Andrew's always been a very talented football player, very athletic, can rush, can blitz, can cover, very savvy. But he's really grown in his time here, what it takes to play linebacker here. Because like I said, we put a lot on him. And so seeing him, the week he had of practice last week, it was his best week he's had since he's been here. And I'll never forget, we leave our pregame walkthrough, and we're getting ready to go to our pregame meal, and he's sweating because of the type of walkthrough he had. I'm talking, we play a game in 3.5 hours, whatever it is. And I looked at him and said, "You're about to ball out tonight." And he's like, "I know."
You talked a little bit about the run game. Until that final drive, I think you guys held them to just single yards rushing. Just to be able to take a team out of what they want to do like that, how does that help for the confidence of this defense?
Yeah, no doubt. It's the number one thing we need to do on defense. Will be no different this week going to Fresno. Is if you can't stop the run, you can't play defense. And so taking that away from an offense that has been able to do it consistently, and more importantly, do it consistently throughout the game, and not just in moments, was a huge deal in the game. And then being able to obviously our offense doing a good job being able to continue to score touchdowns, then obviously takes them away from them being able to establish a run game. So proud of our guys, proud of our front, and honestly proud of the secondary too, with a lot of the fits that they have with some of those sets, because against a team like Wyoming, when they get in these big sets, it's not just the D linemen making plays. They're continue to bring bodies in the core, which puts the corners, the safeties, and the run fit, and they did a good job in the game.
This game started with, we saw the announcement of 3 edge players out. Then here comes Jaden Virgin. Maybe his stats weren't that, spectacular, but I would imagine when you guys saw him film, you were really happy with the development of Jaden Virgin.
I'm going to tell you this right now, very, very proud of Jaden Virgin in the game. He was one of the best players in the game. And for a redshirt freshman to say that, especially at that position, you guys know how much we put on those edge guys. Very, very proud of Jaden and how he played in that game. And his future is very bright. And like I said, after the game, that was one of the guys, Andrew Simpson, one of them, Jaden Virgin, another, that I was extremely proud of, just in regards to, once again, not just because it was a sack or a TFL, but how he was able to play in that game to do his job consistently with what we put on him. Very proud of him and his development. And just where he's going to continue to grow throughout the season is going to be a huge deal, especially with Dimitri out and some of these guys being up. I mean, he's going to continue to need to do that and even grow in that.
What about his skill set makes him fit so well at that edge position?
He's a very athletic young man, so he came here that way, right? He was a little light in regards, maybe 215, 220. His body's completely changed since he's been here. And now he not only can go win on an edge, win in the pass rush game, but we put him in coverage a lot. We put him in different alignments, and so his football IQ now has gone through the roof. And Coach Frazier, Coach Ab, those guys done a great job in regards to teaching, once again, how to study the game. There's a lot more to that position than just playing a 5 technique. There's a lot that we put into that in regards to the pressures, the drops. And so that has been really where he's taken a big step, not only this season, but even as he's grown through this season. Because obviously his role from game 1 to where we are now is drastically different. His rep count from game 1 to where it is now is not even close to the same. And he's continued to grow even early on when he didn't play a lot. A couple snaps here and there, and now he's playing a ton. He's grown a ton through that.
Spencer, I mean, is this maybe like a prove-it week, coming off the best performance of the season against Wyoming? Now you got Fresno, like, prove it that this is the defense that we're going to see moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's going to be week in and week out. It's one of those, especially where we're at as a team, every week we got to go 1-0. And that's the reality of where we're at. That's the reality of this conference. And that's the reality of this conference every year. Even last year, it was no different. Every year, you gotta go 1-0 every week. You can't. That's the only way to continue to give yourself a shot to play in that championship game. So, I think the biggest thing for our defense is we have to continue to prove it, not only in the game, but how we prep today on a Monday, how we practice tomorrow. Because, like I said, I'm proud of how our guys were able to play a complete game on Saturday, because we've shown glimpses of what we can be in quarters and halves. And so now it's, can we consistently do that? It's not going to be perfect. That's the way it is. Now, we got to make sure we eliminate the explosive plays and find ways like we did on Saturday, because that's one of the biggest parts on Saturday is we gave up one explosive play. If you can do that consistently on defense, you're going to always give yourself a shot to play very well on defense and give your offense good field position to be able to go score points. So, yes, and it's going to be the same week in and week out, to where we got a group of guys, and I say this all the time, they've been working their tail off, even when the results are not even close to the standard we want to be here defensively. And the thought of us being young and playing with majority underclassmen, at this point, it doesn't matter, right? The product is what the product is. And so the standard is playing good defense, winning games, and we need to. Our guys are very aware of that. Our staff is very aware of that. And we also are very aware of the task we have at hand in a hostile environment Saturday night. And obviously the offense we're playing is obviously one of the best in our conference, if not one of the best on the West Coast. And so we've got a huge challenge on our hands, and we're excited.
What kind of challenge does Mikey Keene bring for you guys, and just their pass game in general? How does that rank against some of the teams you faced this season?
Yeah, we've obviously played a lot of elite passing attacks. I think we rank them right up there at the top. And playing that style of offense for year in and year out, they do a great job creating matchup issues, formation issues, a lot of different pre-snap movers to where you can't get pressed and get to different alignments because of where they put these receivers. And just like a lot of these offenses we play that do have a really good passing attack, they do a great job in the run game too, in regards to switching up some of the gap schemes, where they're trying to attack you. So just like anything, we got to do a great job stopping the run. But I think, Mikey does a great job in regards to the pass game. He's really quick in the pocket. Not an overly big guy, similar to Hainer from last year, but really tough to get down, really tough to get shots on, and does a great job moving his feet in the pocket and making the throws. And he's got a receiver group that they've done a good job reloading that receiving core, and they've been extremely explosive as well.
This rivalry goes back 20 plus years, obviously, whatever. But I mean, even since you've been here, championship game a couple of times, some other big games at their place. Here, what just is your thoughts on whenever you play? There's always a lot on the line against them.
No doubt. I mean, BJ, to your point, I mean, every time we play these guys, there's so much on the line. If not in a in-season game to a championship game. I mean, since I've been here, this will be the 9th time I've played them, because there's been a lot of times we played them twice in games or twice in years. And so, I mean, there's a lot of respect between each other, but it is a big rivalry for us in regards to playing Fresno State. There's a lot of respect. We also know what they're about. We know they're gonna be ready for us. We're gonna be ready for them. And these are the games you look forward to going into a season, especially being able to play down there Saturday night with everything on the line. Just excited for the matchup, and obviously we know the task at hand, and we got to go 1-0 every week. And they're going to create a lot of different issues for us. They've done a great job. I mean, I'm honestly shocked they're not ranked in the top 25. I'm not privy to that vote, but I mean, you talk about a team that's 7-1 that is, beat 2 Power 5 teams. I think they should be in the top 25, and they deserve that. And so we know the task at hand is for us, one of the top passing offenses in the country, and they do a good job complementing the run game. So hats off to their staff. They do a great job every year. The years we've played them twice, the year we've only played them one time, they do a great job every year. So we know our work's cut out for us, and we'll be working our tail off. I know our guys are excited for this opportunity, but they obviously know the task at hand as well.
I know we talked a lot about the youth on your defense, but of the 25 guys you played on Saturday, all of them are eligible to come back next year. So what is it like to be in a room right now where you have such young guys learning and growing, and then to come back on Monday and see, like, you're right, that's what can happen, the light might come on.
100%. No, I mean, it's 100% that, Jay. It's one of those things for this group. I mean, the reality of college football is it's results driven in regards to what are we doing right now. We are judged on what happens 12 nights a year, and that is the reality across the nation. That's college football, which is why you love it, why every game there's so much on the line, so much goes into every single game. And so with a young group, which to your point, the guys that took snaps on Saturday, all of them are coming back next year. That's very exciting for the future. It's exciting to see these guys continue to grow and develop, and who we will continue to be in the future. But at the end of the day, it's all about who we are right now. And seeing our guys grow and be able to put the game they did together on Saturday was awesome. Now it's to the point we're talking about, can we be consistent enough to do that again this weekend? Can we be consistent enough to do that quarter by quarter? And when something doesn't go our way, because it's going to happen in games, especially against a team like Fresno State, can we respond and do a good job responding from those mistakes and not let them continue to turn into a bad quarter or a bad half? And those are some of the main things that we're going to continue to work to fix.
You've coached plenty of games at Fresno State. Former players tell me that's one of the most hostile environments they ever play in. Why is that?
I mean, that fan base does a great job, not only from the noise to the whole atmosphere. I mean, it's one of those places, I would assume, very similar to coming to play at Boise State when you come to play in the blue. It is a strategic advantage for them when you go to play at Fresno State. It just always has been, from their fan base to how they handle everything. I mean, it's a hostile environment. When you walk from the locker room down to the field, that those fans are going to make you feel like you don't belong there, and which is the way you wouldn't have it any other way. That's college football at its finest, and that's the way it should be when you're going to an opponent's house. And so respect what they do, and so we know that that's what it's going to be, and we're excited for the challenge.
Halloween here last night. We were told Andy dressed as T. Crow.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on the whole? How did he look? How did he pull it off?
He absolutely pulled it off. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a picture floating around at some point, but the mullet he got was spot on. So you throw a mullet and some cowboy boots on, it's T. Crow right from Jump Street. You don't even got to think twice about it. So it was awesome. I mean, just those moments, especially for coaches. This is week 10 of the season. I know even for me, being able to bring my daughters and my wife to have dinner with the boys, being able to see them. My 2.5-year-old dressed up as Mulan, and our 1.5-year-old dressed up as Mushu, the little dragon from it. So it's just fun to get time with the family, not only be around them, but for our players to be around our families too. And I know the rest of the staff about their kids too. So it's awesome to be able to break bread and have some time together, especially at this point in the season going forward. So it was awesome.
Andy didn't really reveal who were some of the better player costumes.
Oh man, there wasn't a ton of player costumes. They might have hit some of those from us, but there's we had a couple guys. We had what did we have? I think we had a Men in Black. We had a Superman. I don't think there's anything too off the wall. I'm sure there was probably a Coach D walking around that I just completely blanked on. They always try to find ways to mess with me, but yeah, there wasn't anything too off the wall. He probably kept it a little bit PG for us.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.